All right, so we are on to the assignment for 2.1c. I am on page 85 in your books. Just a quick reminder, don't forget to not only put your name on your paper so that we can see that in the picture, but also what period you are. Okay, don't forget to do that. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and do these. So we're doing the same thing we did with the notes, right? Pick 2 points, put your rise over your run, and then look to simplify. But we just have to pay attention to what they're counting by. They're not always going to be counting by ones, okay? Here I can see the x-axis is counting for number 1. Here I can see that the x-axis looks like it's counting by tens, but then upon closer inspection, I see there's a line between that first 10, right? So really they're counting by fives. Each line is worth 5. Now the y-axis, they are counting by ones, right? I can see that. But for the x-axis, they're counting by 5. So let's go ahead and draw our triangle. Let's pick 2 points and draw our triangle. I've got a point. Let's do this one right here and this one right here. Okay. So if I'm counting by ones on the y-axis, then I am truly indeed just going down 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to start that off. There's my rise. And then my run is I'm going over 1, 2, 3, 4. But remember, I'm counting by fives, right? So if I'm counting by fives 4 times, that's 20. 5 times 4 is 20. I actually went over 20, and that makes sense, right? Because you can tell, oh yeah, I went from 40 to 60 on the x-axis. So I went over 20. That can't simplify, so that's my answer. On to number 2. Pick 2 points. I'll pick this one right here, and let's do this one right here. Okay. So I notice my x-axis is counting by fives again. Again, it looks like 10, but I see there's a line between each numbered line. So really they're counting by fives. And my y-axis, even though it looks like they're counting by twos, only every other line has been numbered. So really they're counting by ones. I'm going down 1, 2, 3 again. This time I only went over 2 lines. So when I'm counting by fives, that's really, I went over 10. So it down 3 again, but this time only over 10. And when I look at both of these lines, they look like they're parallel, don't they? They look like they're going down and over by the same amount, but it's because the scale was different for each of these. All right. For number 3, oops. For number 3, I'll pick this point right here where it starts, and then this one all the way at the top, and draw my rise over run triangle from that. So I can see it looks like I go up 9 lines, but I'm counting by tens, right? I have to pay attention to what I'm counting by. So really, I went up 90 for this one, and then I went over 10 lines, and they are counting by ones on the x-axis. So that is just 90 over 10. Well, 90 divided by 10 is 9. My slope simplifies down to just a whole number, 9. Or if you left it as 9 over 1, that would be okay too. All right, for number 4, pick your 2 points. I'll pick this one and, I don't know, this one right here. I'll draw my rise over my run triangle. Whoa, what's going on there? Rise over my run. Okay, for this one I notice, oh, I'm only counting by halves. I'm actually only counting by halves for both of the axes, the x and the y axis. So even though I went up 1, 2 lines, that's really, I went up 1 because they're counting by halves. And then to the right, how far did I go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but they're counting by halves, so that's only 4. My rise over my run. For number 5, I'll pick this point right here at the origin and this point here. Draw my triangle. Looks like the y-axis is still counting by halves. So I went down 2 lines, so it's going down 1, put a negative because I'm going down, and then over, they're counting by ones on the x-axis now. So I went over 1, 2, 3. So my slope is negative 1/3. And then for number 6, I see I have a vertical line. Back on our notes for 2.1b, we found out that vertical lines have a slope that is undefined. And the reason it's undefined, pick any 2 points, okay? Let's say I pick those. When I go up, I can do my rise. I can do the rise part, okay? I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I can't, I'm not going over at all. I don't go side to side at all. So that would be a 0. My run is 0. And we can't have that 0 in the denominator. Okay, that's why our answer is undefined. Okay, can't have a 0 in the denominator of a fraction. All right, on to the next page, page 86. For this page, we're doing the same thing, just pay attention to the scale. 2 points I'll pick for this one. I'll pick this point and this point right here. Okay. This time I see the y-axis is counted by 5s, so I only went down 1 line, but that's down 5 because each line is worth 5. And then I go over 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, but again, they're counted by 5s on the x-axis as well. So really, I went over 20. Okay, 5 does go into 20, so I can simplify this. 5 goes into itself once, so I'll change that numerator to a -1, and 5 goes into 20 4 times. So that fraction simplifies down to -1/4. Number 8, I'll start at the origin again, and then I'll use this other point. So my triangle goes up 2 lines, but again, I can see it's counting by halves, so really I went up 1. And my run, I go over 2 lines, but they're counting by 5s, so really I went over 10. And that can't be simplified. Number 9, I'll pick this point and this point. So my rise, I only went up 3 lines, but I see they're counting by 10s, so really I went up 30. And then my run, 1, 2, 3, I only went over 3 lines for that, but they're counting by 5s, so really I went over 15. Well, 30 over 15 simplifies to 2 over 1, or just 2, because 2 divided by 1 is 2. For number 10, I have a horizontal line, and from our notes from 1.2 or 2.1, sorry, B, we know that a horizontal line has a slope that is 0. So that's officially the slope. Why is that the slope? Because when I do my rise over my run, pick any 2 points. Do you have to go up or down at all? Do you rise at all? No. The numerator is 0. I go over, for me, the 2 points that I picked, I go over 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 0 divided by any number is 0. Okay? And that's why the slope for a horizontal line is 0. And I like to just write out the word. For number 11, again, pick any 2 points. I'll pick this one and this one. Okay? Draw your slope triangle. So I go down 1, 2, 3, but they're counting by 10s, so I'm going to put -30. I only go over 2 lines, but they're counting by 2s, so really I went over 4. 2 times 2 is 4. And then just simplify that. Those are both even. Divide both of them by 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15, so it's -15. And then 4 divided by 2 is 2. And that can't be simplified, so we leave it as -15 halves. And then finally, for number 12, I'll start right here and do this last point that I can do on this graph, which is right there. So this one, I'm going up 1 line, but they're counting by 2s, so really I went up 2. And then I went over 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, but we're counting by 10s, so really I went over 40. And then 2 over 40 simplifies because they're both even to 1/20. All right, if you still have any questions, make sure you ask your teacher. For all of these answers here, all we did was pick 2 points, draw our slope triangle, and we always write slope as rise over run. All right, thanks.